With the recent data download on both Global and JP, we got the release of the new awakening for the physical Frieza from the quest mode, who is now Frieza exchanging into Cooler, which is a very cool unit, as that is unique in the Dokkan realm. That's pretty much it when it comes to JP, other than a new IDBH stage, which is coming on both Global and JP stage 35. As well as the water bottle event from the anniversary is returning, which is pretty cool. Maybe the Videl event will return, since now we have confirmation that this Pan event is coming back. And then Petan Battle as well. Global's got the added bonus that we have the Universe Survival Saga EZAs, as well as the free-to-play units releasing, so they finally get physical hits, so enjoy that. Maybe it's a bit too late now to enjoy him, but nonetheless, he's a very great unit, and that probably means that he's not in the data download, but Jiren AGL is coming along, and that is a very awesome card still to this very day. But today's video, we are going to be showcasing the Frieza exchanging into Cooler unit. So let me jump into the details of the new units here. I believe it is not going to be an LR, since the hidden potential does not have the A tier hidden potential boost. But if we look at the details for the Frieza and Cooler, it's Wicked Bloodline leader for 3 key and 50% stat boost, with a greatly raised attack infinitely, greatly raises defense for 1 turn, and supreme damage to the enemy. 2 key and attack defense 150% up, with additional attack plus 25% with each turn passing up to 100%. Has a damage reduction of 20% when HP is 50% or more, an additional attack plus 50% and medium chance of performing a critical hit when HP is 80% or less, an additional attack defense 150% when performing a super, and if there's another Wicked Bloodline category ally attacking the same turn, an additional attack defense 100% and damage reduction by 20%. An additional 2 key and chance of performing critical hit plus 20% when all allies attacking the same turn, extreme class. Then the exchange happens when starting from the 5th turn from the character's entry turn, or when HP is 50% or less. Once we jump into the Cooler form, we got a raise attack and defense for 4 turns on the super mechanic, and then we got for the passive skill 2 key and attack defense 150%, damage reduction of 20%, and for 1 turn from the character's entry turn, an additional damage reduction of 20%. Launches 2 additional attacks, each with a medium chance of becoming a super attack, and an additional attack defense 200% when performing a super. An additional attack defense 30% and additional damage reduction of 10% within the same turn with each super attack performed, kind of like the Trunks and Broly, which is very good. Launches additional super attack every time the character performs a super attack 3 or more times in battle, up to once within a turn. So with that said, here is the hidden potential for my Cooler and Frieza. With the new update to the quest stages, you can farm the skill orbs for the Frieza and Cooler. I went with the level 5 attack and defense to give them the most stats as possible, since the gold itself will provide 1,500 attack and 1,500 defense. So here's the team that we're going to be using in today's video. It's going to be Planetary Destruction, because I'm in love with this team, with Beerus as the leader, and then we have the Int Broly as the friend leader. Since we need Wicked Bloodlines on the same rotation, we got Full Power Frieza, who will be linking up with the Cooler and Frieza and in the main rotation. So for the first turn appearance, we do have them on rotation, and Cooler does have about over 100,000 defense, or Cooler and Frieza, and so they do need to build up just a little bit, so we do have to take our time here and get that ready. So we'll put them in the first slot here. They are taking 100,000 damage, so this is the Super Dragon Ball Heroes little challenge event that they released this year. It's not really that difficult, but you know, we are taking a lot of damage, but we are doing good damage back. For a TY that's not an EZA, we so far should know that they're probably going to EZA at some point. Don't know how long that's going to be, but yes, they hit pretty hard, I would say, especially with the 50% crit chance as well, since we have a full extreme class lineup, which is very, very strong. You don't really have to give them any critical, except in the Cooler form, they kind of lose that, which kind of sucks. But still hits pretty hard, and then we'll build up more attack as the turns go by. Then for the second turn here, we got an increase of our attack, because each turn passing, we'll get more and more attack. Of course, we do have the chance to transform, because I am under 50% HP, but I did not want to do that. Defense doesn't change at all throughout this whole entire point. They're really not a first slot unit. nor was I expecting them to be a first slot unit. It's nice that they got a little bit of damage reduction, but yeah, nothing too crazy. We'll put them in the second slot here because I knew that Trunks would actually smoke them, seeing as we took a lot of damage in the first phase, which was type advantage, by the way. So Frieza is increasing his attack every single super as well, which is very, very strong. I honestly want to keep him in that non-transform state because he's got criticals inbuilt and he's just infinitely increasing his attack, which is very, very strong. And then Beerus is going to clear up the Trunks here, which is very nice. So we can move on to the next phase. Well, almost actually. So we're in turn 5 here. And I think I wanted to do one more turn of him building up, just in case, because now we have the Broly support as well. I just want to see how high his attack could potentially get to. And yeah, so I do put him in the first slot. It's only one attack. It can't be that bad, right? We're over 50% HP. Take 76,000, which is actually not that bad. We hit 12 million. Which is actually very, very strong, especially with that super high chance to critical, because we're not over 80% HP, I believe it's just the high chance there. And then Frieza will clean up the battle here because he's hitting 30 million, since he has so many good links there. And then we do end up going for the exchange here. So here is the animation. Looks very, very cool. Pun not intended, by the way. But very good animation here. Unfortunately, we weren't able to hear any of the sound because I'm currently away, so I can't even hear it. But in future videos, when I get to use them, I will get to react to it properly. There is his defense stat. It really doesn't change much, but he has the 40% damage reduction on the first turn appearance with the support. So I was like, you know what, I might as well just see what he can do. He dodges twice because I max dodged him, and thank God he dodged because we took 180,000 on a normal attack, which is ridiculous. Don't know off the top of my head what the Vegito does, but yeah, it's ridiculous. We could have died there. We only got the one super, so when we did go into the returning turn here, where he's now only got 20% damage reduction, he raises attack defense. It lasts for 4 turns. And super attack is incoming here. We do end up dying. So luckily I had Broly's revive, which is alright. But as you can see here, it's not really a first slot unit, even with some damage reduction inbuilt in his passive. So next turn, I do end up using a Whis, because yeah, I'm not going to fall for that trick again. I still put him in the first slot because I just want to see him do supers. I'm too scared Frieza. Frieza won't kill, but I just want to see what the defense is looking like. You can tell the difference after the supers. But 7 point something million attack stat right there. Going from the first form Frieza exchange part, 12 million to this, is not really that great. The benefit of this is that he does get multiple super attack chances off, which does accumulate and starts building up. If you can get it, keep going. And then you kind of he loses crit though, which is the worst part. So he's not really that potent in terms of he loses the crit and then they get additionals, which makes the super attacks a lot less potent. But we're going into the final turn here versus the Goku. This time around, I am going to just put Cooler in the middle slot here. Yeah, I don't have a max link leveled as well. That's also a big concern. I don't have Big Bad Bosses activated, which it happens on both, it has it on both forms, which is good. Obviously, that would have increased our attack and defense quite a lot more. But this was on the day showcase, so I didn't get to farm up. And so here is the final bits of attack, 7.7. And we did do all of those super attacks from the turn prior. Big Bad Bosses does really make a lot of difference. And then we just get the normal attack, RNG, terrible luck, which is not that great. But if you can do multiple super attacks, he's actually getting some really good defense. And of course, that adds with the damage reduction as well. He's actually getting a lot of damage reduction, making him very tanky. Analyze with the defensive stats for both of the forms. We'll start off with the Frieza and Cooler form here. So they do only have 2 super attack potentials, and then they get a maximum defense of 1.2 million. With the damage reduction, it's not entirely the worst stat line, including with the damage reduction, which is okay. It's additional 40% damage reduction if we have a Wicked Bloodline ally on the team on the turn. And so that's actually not too bad, as long as you get the additional super proc, of course. If you don't, you only get like 900,000, which is, is a bit on borderline events pretty bad. And when we're in the cooler form, this is where it gets really interesting, because he gets so many super attacks. And so if you get the best RNG, you are doing an additional 4 extra super attacks, getting him to 2.7 million defense. Each raise attack defense lasts for the 4 turns, so he's actually getting a lot more defense as well on the next turn prior to that. And then we have the damage reduction that we need to consider, because he has damage reduction 20% at the start of the turn. And this is not even first turn appearance, because first turn appearance he has the extra 20% damage reduction, but then he gets 10% damage reduction extra with each super attack performed. If you get all of that, with the 5 super attacks, that's a 70% damage reduction with a 2.7 million defense, which is actually so good. That tanks literally everything in the game. As long as it's not an AoE, then you're fine. Okay, as we saw, the first slot is not perfect, but second slot, third slot, you're looking really, really good. But that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys do enjoy hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. If you guys did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, until then, stay healthy, stay safe, stay fizzy. Peace.